are you listening to the world's famous?
After a year, didn't learn much and wanted to follow my parents' footsteps by coming to the United States and really learning all I could about technology and engineering. So I was the typical foreign student, 16 years old, 2 suitcases. My parents bade me farewell at the international airport in Lagos. My mom escorted me to the gate. It was great. And then I arrived in the United States at Los Angeles International Airport in October of 1998, I believe it? 1989, sorry, 1989. And that was awesome. Arriving here, not knowing anyone, a family who my father worked with in the United States, lived in Whittier, picked me up, and the rest was history. So I was here in the United States, and not to go into much crazy detail, I just fell in love with engineering and fell in love with cars as well. And my first vehicle was a Nissan 200SX, which is pretty interesting. And after a small rear-end collision, not my fault, I was rear-ended, I decided to get the car that I always found extremely appealing, a 1988 Honda CRX HF. And the CRX was fantastic because it was lightweight, it was efficient, didn't have air conditioning or other creature comforts, which was okay, but it was very efficient as a car. I got close to 48 miles per gallon, perfect student car. And not to go into crazy detail, the most interesting thing happened. I had the opportunity to visit a facility known as San Andres, and this facility had a ton of books. And I picked up one in particular, the Honda Performance Handbook, and that book pretty much changed my life. It really went into detail about Mugen and Oscar Jackson and all these great guys and what they've done with Hondas. And they had this 1.6 liter SCCA road race CRX that made 200 horsepower. I was like, oh my God, that's mind blowing, 200 horsepower. This is amazing. How could I ever do that? And it was just a great read. But I really wasn't interested in modifying my car at the time until something happened. One day on the way to school, I had the opportunity to hear this weird noise emanating from the rear of my CRX. And I didn't know what it was. It was really a perforated muffler. And long story short, going to a muffler shop and getting an aftermarket muffler put on because the one from the dealer was so expensive, that changed my life. The feeling of power, the sound that emanated, the efficiency that improved when I didn't step on it was just amazing to me. And that began my journey into modification of cars. I quickly made an acquaintance with a gentleman by the name of John Concialdi from AEM. And the facility was in Compton at the time and quickly moved to Gardena. And that was the beginning of the end. John was a very positive influence on me, a fellow engineer as well. I was still a student at the time. And looking at the restrictive induction of the CRX HF I had at the time pushed me towards, with John's influence, carburation. And my fascination with induction and atomization of fluids, which helped me design so many components as I graduated and did some great things. So that was a brief stint into my history in coming to the United States. The racing was really great. There's a good friend of mine, Taryn King, who worked at a Circuit City when I worked there too. And he influenced me to go to a drag strip with him, Terminal Island in Long Beach, and that's where I met guys from Wicked and all the crazy guys from street racing and so on and so forth. And Taryn whooped my butt the first time out with his Mazda 66 Turbo. But then that passion, that camaraderie we had really pushed me to try and find ways to make my car faster. And it's not like today, where you can go in any catalog or go online and purchase components. At the time, in the mid to late 90s, there were no components available. So you definitely had to figure out how to make your car faster and learn from those you can, the V8 guys and their efficiency and so on and so forth. So without boring you with more details, because I could talk about this forever, it really led me to really create some wonderful components for the Hondas. As I continued to go through school, graduated, got a job in pharmaceutical research, defected into sales, did extremely well there, and started designing components. It's one of the typical stories of you go to the racetrack, the drag strip, you go faster than you did the week before. People come up to you and ask you, what did you do differently? How are you so fast? Well, I designed this new intake manifold, or I have this new header system that is designed, and I'll be more than happy to provide you one if you're interested. Oh yes, I want one, make me one too. And then they buy it and they get faster, and then they tell someone else. And it was just that whole thing that was amazing. Even though I was doing extremely well in pharmaceuticals, my passion for racing, both on the street, which I don't condone, but it was really, 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 really a great way for me to make money when I was a student. But after seeing a mishap, I kind of shied away from that and went more towards ideal track racing, all the way to interacting with OEMs and having a great time designing components. It was fantastic. So that being said, I had a great opportunity to race and do some wonderful things. And finally in 2006, I had the opportunity to do some great things. And I see some questions are coming in, but once again, guys, I'd like you to wait until the end of my interaction with you, and then I'll answer all questions you have, good, bad, or indifferent. I have no problem doing that. And I'm sure many of you have questions, and I'm open to all of them. Technology, controversy, records, you name it, rumors, I'm here to help. One thing I want to make very clear is that I've been very fortunate to do some great things in the scene, partner with some great people and create some great products. And I've done it in both the Sport Compact with Hondas, moving on to my friends from Hyundai, to even a great stint with the guys from the Porsche realm. And one thing I've seen is that, and it's really sad about the Honda scene, but whenever someone has things that are extraordinary, a little different, which I live and revel in difference, it tends to bring controversy, which is okay, but it also tends to bring a lot of crap talking and hating and rumors and rubbish. And once again, I'm here to address all those. I know it comes with territory. At the time, on Honda Tech, I used to address these questions and concerns. I never really knew if it was legitimate or not, but did it anyway. But after a while, I just figured out that some people just want to see the world burn, just want to see bad things happen, which is weird, or drama. So I understand that, but if there are any misconceptions, any questions, I'm here to answer them, no problem. No stone left unturned, I'm here. So that being said, contributions is one that I'm very proud of to the Honda scene. Many of you may have heard of the H2D and H2B plate. That was incepted in Bisimoto engineering. Many of you have Kinsler ITBs out there. It was interaction between Scott Elf, great mentor, bringing that to the scene. Being able to partner with Honda and create a lot of things that I wish I could talk about, but I really can't. But some of the cars that you may see today, some of the technology you see in cars that are very popular nowadays, came from the interaction I had with that manufacturer, both with engineers here in the US and also in Japan. And now we're extrapolating that influence also to the Korean market as well. So I'm very fortunate to be able to touch a lot of great things and to be able to explore quite a bit. In drag racing, I really honed my teeth, despite my popularity with turbocharging now, I really honed my teeth with, I would say, small displacement, natural aspiration. So with my CRX, I ended up getting that to 10.7 at a quarter mile Bakersfield at the Formosa Raceway. I think we clips about 124 miles per hour with that. It was a D15, 1530cc, big bore, short stroke, very high compression, carbureted. Very proud. Got that to make a 238 horsepower to the wheels at Harv Dynojet's dyno. And that really opened up my love for single cams. Started with single cam performance because that's all I could afford as a student. And then when I became more successful in the pharmaceutical realm, I felt like I had such a great opportunity with the single cam, and I saw this grown-up single cam that looked like a D series, but much bigger and had better ports than anything I ever saw. And it was an F22A, and it was amazing. And back there earlier on, you had seen the Insight. I still campaigned this car that I love so much with an F22 engine, which is pretty much a grown-up D series. But the great thing about the F22A is that the factory head, which by the way, the head holds all potential for power, the factory head flows more than most ported B series. So that engine is unloved, tons of potential, and I built that F series in the CRX and ultimately in the Insight as a proof of concept to show that my team and I have the capability of taking any engine, unloved even, and creating great reliable power with it. So to take an engine that made 130 horsepower and then a natural aspirated trim, get it post 425 horsepower to the wheels is amazing. And it's something we did without much of any external influence, just to show that you can create some really great things. And for those of you out there who love creativity, don't give up. Persistence is so key. You'll have naysayers, you'll have haters, you have people talking crap, you have people making up stuff, spitting on you even. But when you're out there and you're kicking butt and going fast, you shut them all up. And they may not believe you or not, but you know what? You know what you're doing, and if they can't do it, that doesn't mean you can. So never give up. Don't fall prey. It's very exciting, and when you do great things, wonderful things happen. You influence people all across the world. And the naysayers come with the territory. It's just a part of life. And if you don't have naysayers, you really would never, ever, ever succeed. That means you're not doing something right. And above and beyond that, don't get me wrong, we have millions of people around the globe who support us, who love what we do, and continue to help us have this great facility and continue to allow us to do great R&D here. But nonetheless, it's fantastic. So my partnership with OEMs, great. You can always see multiple projects coming from Bisimoto Engineering at CM every year. It's fantastic. We have a great opportunity to do wonderful things. Technology, I'm more than happy to share what I've done and what I continue to do, because one thing about technology, you continue to improve each time and go further and further. So I'm not ashamed to share with any of you what I've done, so-called secrets I can share with you, because you know what, next year, there'll even be more progress and things that allow us to do even more things. And what I'll share with you today would be old technology. So that being said, I've spoken for a good 25 minutes. And I really want to open up to many of you. And Duran is here with the team behind me, or in front of me, behind you. And they're going to share some of the questions you have, and I'll be more than happy to answer any and all of them. And once again, at the end, I have 3 great prizes for those individuals who can answer questions properly that I'll ask afterwards. And when we're done, just at Bisimoto on Instagram, just send me your contact information, and I'll ship those items out to you wherever you are on the planet. So that being said, this is going to be a great one. Let's open up to some questions, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. And it doesn't matter what it is. It could be about technology, what we've done, records, scary stuff, controversy. I'm here to answer them for you. So Jerome, what do we have first? Okay, first one is big, 230-mile-an-hour run. So that was a great one. People are really interesting, and I'm interesting too. So that being said, I had the opportunity to, first time ever, take my Civic, 2012 Civic I built for Honda in 2011. It was one I was very, very proud of. It was my first K-Series build. It was my second build for American Honda. We initially did a first build of a CRZ, which we made 533 horsepower hybrid. Then we moved over to the 2012 Civic, which we made 1,004. Great setup, fully built engine, some new technology. It was really good. I was very excited and pleased about that. But for a long time, the one thing that prevented me from really pushing that car was my gearbox. I have a partnership with Quave, and at the time they were trying to create a gearbox for the 9th Gen Civic. But it took them a long time to be able to perfect this particular component. But I really, as always, have the itch to go out there and have fun. And with a factory gearbox, as you can imagine, drag racing, you can destroy that very easily with 4-digit power. So what is the best thing I could do to feed my need for drag racing, but much easier on the drivetrain? Half-mile racing. So at Shafter, California, which is a little bit north of Bakersfield, we had an opportunity to take the Bisimoto 2012 Civic out to the very first event that we've been through, which was the no-fly zone half-mile event. I was really excited. I took that vehicle and one of my blue Porsches out there as well, so it was pretty exciting. So, first time ever doing this. Never ever did this kind of racing before. Didn't know what to expect. It was really exciting. Went up to the line with the Civic, coasted to about 60 miles an hour to the cones, floored it, and then took off. Did a run. It was a little sketchy, kind of weird. But at the end of the stripe, shut down, came back to the pit, and my pit was full of people. And I'm like, okay, what did it do? What happened? It said I ran 230 miles an hour. I'm like, really? Now, bear in mind, I never experienced this. I never knew what to expect, never knew what happened or how great it was. It was amazing, and I was just so excited, and people were congratulating me. I'm so excited. My teammates were there, and some media people were there from South America. It was great. I'm like, oh my God, this is wonderful. I mean, this is what this car can. This is amazing. So I take tire out, pressure out, as a typical drag racer, to go back out again and see what it can do. The tire pressure, I guess I took too much out, and it was all over the track, skidding and so on and so forth. But I was really excited. Took the Porsche out, did stuff with the Porsche, still reveling in my excitement. I even sent stuff out on Facebook, sent some stuff on Instagram. I was so excited and happy. Next day, I sent it to all my sponsors, make this great announcement. And oh my God, what happened? People lost their minds. It's almost equivalent to the first time I hit 150 miles an hour with the Insight. So, drag racing my Insight, I had the opportunity to do 150 before anyone else. People were hovering in the all-motor class in 145, 144, thereabout. And I do 150, and I was accused of everything in the book, from cheating and nitrous, you name it. I got accused of it. But then I went and backed it up and kept doing it, and then guess what? Now it's a common thing to see an all-motor, low 9, high 8 car do 150 miles an hour. So the 230 was just amazing. It's something that was shared with me. I didn't quantify it. The car doesn't have any, or didn't at the time have any speed sensors for me to verify that. But that's what the clock said. Now, the controversy that was generated from that was a little bit much. I had idiots from all around calling me names, calling me out, saying all kind of stuff, and it's quite unfortunate. Since then, I have done a lot more half-mile racing with my Genesis, and the Genesis was really fast rear-wheel drive, and it's no longer with me, but I had an opportunity to do 189 with that, and that was really fantastic. But it may be possible, as I've said before, that it did it because it has capability, or maybe it didn't. Maybe the clocks were off. Maybe it was kilometers per hour that they set it up at. I don't know what it was, but it was always shared with me. It's what happened, and for people to try and hinge on that, certain people, not everyone, certain people trying to hinge on that as a way to hurt my credibility or to speak ill of me is kind of uncalled for. I would not jeopardize my entire career or all my accomplishments over what they're trying to claim. Some people are trying to claim that I'm just making stuff up. I have no idea and have no interest in making things up. And if the clocks were off, then so be it. If they were great, then it's great. But you know what? It's something that was shared with me, and hopefully that, I've shared this many times. I am not the kind of person to just make up stuff. That doesn't make any sense. It was the same thing that happened with dyno charts with my Insight years ago, and I just stopped putting on a Honda Tech because I used to. When I did, 237 to the wheels, that was like my first dyno pass. I put it up. Oh, bull crap. Then I did 319. Oh, you crap lying. 345. Oh, then I did a video at 420. Oh, it's made up. So after a while, I just stopped. So since then, I still do a lot of racing. I still have fun. I do road race. I go to half mile, and I just don't post stuff anymore because it's just good enough for me to have experience myself and have a good time and enjoy. I don't do this for other people. I was just excited about the accomplishment of the Civic. I was so proud of it, but I am not the type of person to make up rubbish. And I really think that those people who keep saying that, keep pointing fingers and three are pointing back at them, they should really mind themselves, because if they knew me very well, they'll know I'm not that type of person, and I don't have time for that kind of rubbish, So it is what it is. For those who believe, that's great. For those who don't, that's fine. If the clocks were off, that is what it is. If it was correct, that's great. But it won't stop me from continuing to do what I do. It won't stop me from continuing to go out there and have fun. And if those guys don't like it, that's up to them. If they do, it's okay. So hopefully that addresses that. Okay. Second question, where is the wagon van? I don't know. The wagon van was my pride and joy. I really wish I kept it. I really do. It was an initial parts getter for me, and after participating in I would say a dyno shootout, and I was actually, actually we have time. This is a good story. Super Street approached me and said that they wanted me to participate in this engine build shootout, and it was a good one because there were so many great names there. Cosworth, Ace Machine, big domestic facility, AMS. I mean, I was David versus all these Goliaths. And the goal was to make the most horsepower per liter. Now, not just that, but reliable horsepower. So the goal was, for 30 minutes, whatever engine we build, it will be cycled from peak torque to peak horsepower for 30 minutes. So, of course, in normal BC fashion, I'd build an NA or motor setup because that's gonna last a 30-minute abuse session. If I build a crazy drag turbo setup, it's not gonna do that. So that's what I did. Because I did that, and also Cosworth chose to do that with a DQ engine, I ended up being, I don't know, I think there were 8 of us. I ended up being maybe number 5 or 6 in that line in terms of horsepower per liter. Actually, I did better in Cosworth, which I'm so proud of. And then Ace Machine, because they chose the V8 NA, it was kind of not as efficient per liter. But I was very proud that I did very well there. And at the ceremony in Vegas at SEMA, I was approached by not the owner of AMS, great guy, great engineer, like him a lot, fantastic, but one of his employees came to me and said, hey, why did you build an NA setup in a turbo competition? It's like, it's akin to taking a butter knife to a gunfight. Well, I shared with him exactly why I did it, because of the stress test that the engines would be put through. Well, long story short, the stress test wasn't done, so the guys with the crazy flat 4 turbocharged engine ended up winning. AMS did well. And I explained that to the guy, like, hey, you know, I did this, and here are the reasons why I did it. No, that's not why. You just don't know anything about turbos. You just do NA stuff. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, you just did all you know. And he walked away, and I was pissed off. I went straight to Jonathan Wong in the same room and said, Jonathan, he was the editor-in-chief of Super Street at the time. Jonathan, I want to build this. I want to build an engine and show these guys what I can do, turbocharged. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to put it on an engine stand. I'm going to put it in a car. I'm going to drive it daily. And then I'm going to make 650 horsepower, and we're going to beat their horsepower per liter. He's like, let's do it. I'm like, I'm going to put in my bucket wagon van too, my little white parts getter. I'm going to do that too. Let's do it, BC. I'll do a 1-page article. No problem, we'll do it. Well, the 1-page article ended up turning into like a 4 or 5-part series, and it ended up being one of my most popular cars to date. Built the engine like an NA setup with a large turbo on it. First time on the dyno, first time at Wastegate, it made 450. I did build threads everywhere, which by the way started another controversy because on dseries.org it was great and loved, and on One Cam only it was great and loved, but on Honda Tech, a lot of people got upset about it. Anyway, but I documented every part of that build. And finally, with some water methanol and 91 and some decent boost up to 41 PSI, we got to past 450, we got to 721. And it was amazing. And it just showed the potential of the D. I ended up pushing that later on even further, and I ended up breaking the block around. So I had to get another block sleeved because I cracked it when I tried to push it past 750. But long story short, it really created an opportunity for new products once again for the D-Series market, showing the potential of that engine, tons of camshaft profiling, which was the key component to that, which is pretty exciting. And you know what was sad? I really built that car as my daily driver. I did. And drove it daily. But something happened on 2 occasions. It happened once, and I thought it was a fluke. Happened a second time, and I said, that's it. People tried to borrow the car permanently. First time, I was at a supermarket, a Vaughn's supermarket near my, not Vaughn's, Albertsons supermarket near my residence. And I live in a very nice area, and I saw this group of guys around the car when I came out of the supermarket with my bags, and I thought they were admiring it. So I was gonna go up to them and talk to them about the car and what I did to it. And the guy walks away with Slim Jim. He was trying to break into my car to steal it. Second time around was in a mall, more close to the office. I caught guys again trying to break into the car and steal it. And I said, that's it. It's too much stress. I can't just drive this and enjoy it. I can't park it anywhere. People are trying to steal my wagon, which is kind of stupid because it has a lot of bespoke parts on it, which if you try to sell, someone will know, oh, that's a Bisimoto part of his wagon, but people try to steal it anyway, and that's it. So I wanted to pretty much give it away at a good price. I invested over 10 grand in the motor alone, and I wanted to get about $9,500 for the whole car as is, with suspension, paint, everything, Ryan did a great harness from Ryan Wire. He was on Huffy Talk a moment ago. EMS Series 2, and it was great. What I met had all these components, and people lowballing me. People asking me, "Oh, I'll give you 3,500. I'll give you three grand." Nah. So, you know what I did? I had a gentleman who offered me close to what people were lowballing me for the whole car for just the engine. So the engine went, and then someone offered me 1,200 for the gearbox with a great differential. Gearbox went. Then someone offered me money for the turbo, and then the manifold, and then the intake, and all these components kept going off the car, the wheels, and then the shell was left, and the gentleman picked up the shell. So it's a little bit of the wagon is everywhere around Southern California. I do miss her. She was a classic wagon that really did great things for us and made Wagoneers feel proud to have a wagon, because that car was really unloved, but I loved it. So it was really good. So she's away. I miss her. I may build another one soon. I like classic Hondas. So, you know, I really do love classic Hondas. I mean, even though I'm playing around with some domestic stuff and I'm doing a lot with Porsches and I continue to do stuff with Hyundai, my first love was Honda. And that would never change. And no matter what, I don't care if tomorrow I start working on Veyrons or Koenigseggs, I will always remember my roots. I will always remember why I started. I remember my first car. I remember my first race on the street and at the track. I remember all the good times I had with my CRX and my Insight, and all the great times I continue to have with the brand as well. You know, doing a lot of things with the Type R and so on and so forth. I'll always remember those things. So 100 years coming, no matter what happens, even if I go back to my country and become the president of my nation, I will still always remember my first love, which is Honda. Anyway, so what other questions do you have, Jerron?
Favorite car of all time?
Favorite car of all time? Ooh, that's tough. That's a tough one. I have to divide that into 3, okay? The most fun car, fun car for me to drive isn't the most powerful car in my arsenal. It's actually right behind Jerron over here. You can't see that, but it's actually a 481 horsepower Cayman. And why is it favorite for me and fun? It's well balanced. Porsche made this car where it's fantastic to drive, but was underpowered from factory. We fixed that with a twin turbo setup on a factory engine. Factory high compression engine got to 481, and it's perfect. It's so balanced, so fast. Road racing, it's amazing. And then now with these awesome wheels I have on it, which are super lightweight from Carbon Creations, it's fantastic. I love it. Now, so that's the fun factor. The oh my goodness, this is an awesome car factor is the van back there. My most popular build today, that thing is so amazing, so much fun to drive. A manual transmission, 1,000 horsepower minivan. It embarrasses a lot of people on the roads, a lot of Evos, a lot of Subis, a lot of exotics. And it's nothing, there's not a better feeling in crashing an exotic Lamborghini meet with a minivan that will take on any of them. It's really great. So I love that Odyssey. It really is a favorite car in terms of, oh my goodness, this is an amazing vehicle. And in terms of my favorite vehicle that scares me, I wouldn't say it scares me really. It already scares a lot of other people. But it's the 850 horsepower twin turbo 911 behind there. It's my first Porsche I ever built. And I give the keys to the media, and that thing almost killed me in the back of the shop when they have more power. And I went to smaller turbos, and now it's comfortable for me. But it's one of my favorite cars because it's very classic and it merges the classic beauty of an old school 911 German vehicle with new technology of CAN bus and drive-by-wire and twin turbo charging with village aerodynamics, and it's really great. So it's a little bit of those. So those are 3 cars. They're favorite cars of mine, but they all have different facets of my intellect or interest that is very good. So what other questions do you have?
Okay.
And time is flying. It's amazing.
Here's
Thanks
one
for the questions, guys. I really appreciate it.
Here's one that keeps repeating.
Okay.
Are you ever coming back to drag racing? Will you race competitively again?
Wow. Question is, am I ever coming back to drag racing? Will I ever race competitively again? Yes. So, believe it or not, on the dyno is my Insight, is Stitch, the Insight. So, I don't want to give too much away. I have never stopped experimenting or trying things out. Here's the problem. Guys and girls, it was much easier when I worked in pharmaceuticals and had my regular paycheck and did extremely well financially and just raced on weekends. And then I had Fridays as office days. I could fly out to events around the country. It was much easier then. As a business owner, this is the problem I have. Taking care of my customers. They come first. So that being said, whether it's developing new product or taking care of current products or clients' cars that get dropped off, one of the most uncomfortable things for me is a customer bringing their car. And for those of you who are business owners or shop owners, you know this happens. A part doesn't come in, or a part doesn't fit properly, or something unforeseen happens. So your customer can't get to the track, but then you're at the track on Saturday racing. And then they come up to you like, hey, BC, so my car's not ready, but you're out here. That really tugs on my heartstrings and it makes me uncomfortable. So my customers are first, and putting my customers first, unfortunately, has pushed me away from what I love. And what I love is racing. I've always loved it. It was a great stress reliever for me. It allowed me to develop even crazier products and faster products. It was amazing. But my business prevented me from doing it. I had to take care of my people first. And then now with a growing family, I'm married with a daughter, and it's tough. It's tough balancing all these things. And now with employees that I also take care of and make sure they're happy and take care of, I'm pulled in so many directions. So it's tough. And my wants and my desires are on the back burner. But luckily for me, nowadays, things are now put in place. I have a great team. I'm surrounded by wonderful people around me. Even right behind all of you watching is Daron and Aaron and Kevin. These are great people who come in and support me all the time. I have Naomi, I have Francis, I have Hedy, I have all these great people Sean, I have a great support team of wonderful people. And now I have an opportunity to get back to what I love. So to answer your question, and sorry for a long answer to a short question, yes, you will see me very soon, racing competitively, still thinking out of the box, doing things that are atypical, still getting protested, still getting hated on, still getting admired. All that stuff is still gonna happen. And I just won't stop. What you'll see is some more variety. So I'm doing a lot more road racing nowadays as well with some of the Porsches. I'm being courted by some individuals with Chrysler, so you may see some things coming from us with that very soon. And then of course, I have these Hondas here, which I love so much, and you'll see a lot more from us. So I hope that answers your questions properly. What else do we have there on?
Okay. B or K series, D or L series, and does an F series head flow better than H series head?
Those are many questions.
Yeah.
So first parcel is B or K?
Correct.
That's very easy. The B series with aftermarket support, if you're the kind of individual who's not kind of loose in the head like I am, and you're okay with just getting components that are proven and tried and true, the B series is the way to go. It is a small block Chevy of the Honda world. But when we look at the flow in the K series head, the opportunities with NA setups, the K is a very powerful engine and has much untapped potential. Even though so much has happened, that engine has so much untapped potential, up to the K28, to K24 hybrids, to even the most recent K24 Z7. I don't know why people don't embrace it. It's an awesome engine. There's so much opportunity for that, so yes. So it depends on what you want. Creativity NA, or tried and true, force-induced power. Second one was L series or D series. I love both. I love both. But, so put it this way. If you want to make 200, 300, 400 horsepower easily, L series all day. It's a great setup. You can still get a decent price through eBay and some other dismantlers and so on and so forth. The D series is awesome if you want to push some serious power. So here's what I noticed, and it's no fault of the manufacturer, but with the Earth Dreams engines, Honda has, in its quest for efficiency to make the engines lightweight, the castings are much thinner. So an L series is a very lightweight engine, but when you start pushing those engines hard, I'm saying pushing 6, 7 horsepower, you fracture them. So if you want a small displacement engine and want to make tons of power, the D is still a formidable engine to use. But if you want something more new age and you're okay with 400 or less horsepower, the L series is a great alternative. It's really good. And if you have a hard time finding components, We've done all the hard work for you. Camshafts, valve train, piston, rods, we have it all. We can take care of you. And then the last question was, we said,
do F-Series heads really flow better than H-Series?
do F-Series heads really flow better than H-Series? Okay. So I flow both heads factory. Factory to factory. Factory to factory. There's more potential with the H-Series. Factory to factory. It's stock engine to stock engine. H-Series, H22, the head flows pretty decently. Here is where things change. When you start modifying them, the H-Series, because of the valve angles not being as conducive for high horsepower in terms of camshaft profiling, because of the angles and how the valves sit, you can easily interact and have valve-to-valve interference with decent camshaft, or even if you go 1 or 2 millimeter oversized valves on H22. So you're not limiting yourself with the head potential. The F-Series, on the other hand, you can go up to 4 millimeter oversized on intake and 2 millimeter oversized on the exhaust. You can go to 600 lift cam and you'll be fine all day. And since the head holds the highest potential for power, what would you rather have? The F-Series all day because of potential power. But if you're going to keep your engine stock and you're not interested in doing anything crazy, the H-Series is a cost-effective. H-Series, the F20B, those are good opportunities to just have fun. But if you start getting serious about racing, I would highly encourage you to consider an F22A, F22A6, A1, A4. Those engines are a dime a dozen junkyards. They're in everything from Odysseys to Accords. I get them for like a couple $100 at a wrecking yard, sometimes for free. They just try to get rid of them. It has so much potential for boosting and NA. Anyway, so what's the next question?
Hetty wants you to tell them about your secret K-Series parts. And then also I have a guy asking if you can make 420 on a D-Series, why go K?
Okay. So, Hetty wrote and said she wanted me to talk about my secret K-Series parts. Am I supposed to talk about that? Okay, so on the K24 Z7, there's a lot of potential. Some of my partners back east from PLM Motorsports, great guys, they've done amazing things with turbocharging. Here at Bisimoto Engineering, internally, we've done some crazy stuff. Right now, I'm experimenting with camshafts. Oh my God, camshafts wake up this engine like crazy. So since we don't quite have billets yet, I'm experimenting with more of a stellite buildup on the camshafts to get more lift and duration without having a weird rocker geometry that's not conducive to performance. Pistons are also something we've done very well with a very unique skirt design. There's a way the cam is cut on the skirt to reduce friction on the sleeve and to also increase the efficiency of the piston. And above and beyond that, valve train. I mean, the old K-Series valve train don't fit on the Z7. So that being said, that's something else that we have. And then partnering with a company like Purol, which has done a great job in creating break-in oils that helps significantly with Honda engines that need zinc. You can't just throw anything in Honda. Hondas are very sensitive to oils, and if you don't know that, you may want to pay attention. It does wonderful things. That's why you look at some of your camshafts and they look a certain way and scarred. You have to use the right stuff, and to be partnered with a company that listens to us, that listens to enthusiasts, it's a great thing, and create formulations that way. So it's fantastic. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then the second question was, after the talk about the K-Series parts.
Well, I've got a pressing question.
Yes.
With parts being expensive, how would you go about building the first build on a budget?
Well, the question is, with parts being so expensive, how can you go about doing your first build on a budget? Honestly, it's almost impossible. It's very difficult. It takes a lot of discipline. So I'll share with you my own experience. As a student, I didn't have any money, but I wanted to go fast. But I also understood even then that you get what you pay for. So I could have done a cheap route and try and find ways to get my ignition to be more optimized. But I knew at the time that an MSD 6AL was the way to go on my carbureted setup. So what did I do? I saved up. I had the discipline to put resources aside every week from my paycheck until I had enough money to buy the ideal part. So the best way to go with a first build on a budget, and you're on a budget, so this is very important. On a budget, you cannot afford to buy crap and break. You can't afford to put a Vitara piston in your boosted D series, have it disintegrate, and then take out your head and your turbo. You're better off saving up and getting a forged piston so that, God forbid, if something does go awry, you just have to worry about blowing and honing your sleeve out again, or cleaning up your bore a little bit and putting another piston in. You don't have to worry about buying a new turbo and getting another head and all that good stuff. So my advice is to have the discipline to save up and get proper parts, so when you do it once, you do it right and you don't have to worry about it again. And it may take you a little longer, but at the end, you'll be very proud and very happy of your project. Trust me, I'm saying this from my own experience. It's the way to go. What a question there. And great questions, by the way, guys. I really appreciate it.
Why do you lean so heavily towards AEM for tuning?
Why do I lean so much towards AEM for tuning? I don't lean towards it so much for tuning because customers bring me everything. Motec, Hondata, I don't do Chrome anymore. Howtech, AEM, Stinger, I get them all come here. But I have affinity for the AEM engine management, not only for the Series 2, which has been pretty robust setup, but also the new Infinity they have. Because we all love what Motec does, and Motec offers so many great opportunities for tuning capability, but you have to pay to unlock these capabilities. I feel that AEM offers me all the features and benefits of a high-end Motec without the price tag, and with all features being open. And above and beyond that, I've heard some customers come to me from other tuners because the cars weren't running quite right on AEM and saying that the AEM is overkill. That has not been my experience. To be honest with you, think of yourself as a surgeon. And as a surgeon, if you want to do a good job in surgery, in the OR, you want to have a variety of tools at your disposal to do a good job. I feel that using an engine management solution that doesn't give me the ability to do individual cylinder tuning in terms of ignition and fueling, doesn't allow me the ability to put a ton of fail-safes in place to keep my customers' engines from expiring if they get a bad batch of E85 or a bad batch of 91 or on a really hot day or go to the desert or have a boost overrun. I feel that not having access to that is like doing surgery with one hand behind my back and with limited tools. AEM allows me to do wonderful things and really do it very well and not be limited. I want to give my customers the best, and I feel that AEM gives me the tools to allow me to do that without breaking the bank. So that's why I find it so appealing, indeed.
What do you need to be a good tuner?
What do you need to be a good tuner? You don't need a crazy degree or degrees like I have. You don't need to be this crazy guru and try. You just need the passion. Passion is one, the eagerness to learn, and even though you don't have to be an engineer, you have to be educated about it. Learn as much as you can, interact with people who are reputable in the industry. I'm more than happy to help people all the time. Shane T travels around the world, great guy. I met him at Turbinex a couple months ago. He's more than happy to help people, and he's a great open-minded person. Ben Strader is someone who has EFI 101. Attend his course. I was a seasoned tuner when I went to him, and I took away some great things. So education is very key, and I cannot stress this. Above and beyond all the education in the world, attention to detail is extremely important. Being able to hear, listen, pay attention, everything is so important. It's when you're tuning, you're doing things with your feet, your ears, your hands, your eyes. It's really a science and a black art, and it's very rewarding as well because you're happy, your customers are happy, and even if you don't have customers and you're doing it for yourself, it's very rewarding as well. So I hope that answers your question properly. And by all means, visit Ben Strader's EFI 101, both the basic and advanced classes, and you'll take a lot away from it.
Thoughts on K-swap Porsches?
Mm-hmm. The question is, my thoughts on K-swap Porsches. I got this question. Motherfucker, you know the first person that asked me that was Ryan from Rywire. And I'll share with you exactly what I showed Ryan. I like it. It's cool. I think it's fantastic. I think a Carrera is what I dub it. It's pretty nice. But you know what? My Porsche customers don't like it. They don't like that at all. I think out of the box, I think if you compare the efficiency of the older air-cooled engines versus a K-Series engine, that's pretty cool. It's lightweight, it's efficient, it's very easy to make a lot of power. There are components out there that exist. I think it's really cool. It's thinking out the box is being different. I love it. I embrace that. But once again, my customers, my Porsche guys who come here, the farthest they will go is what I've done, which is put a water-cooled Porsche engine in a Porsche. That's the farthest they'll go. They don't like LS swaps. They don't like Coyote swaps. They don't like K-Series swaps. They frown on it. But I think it's cool. I like it. Plus, it's a Honda engine. It's my first love. I like it.
Lots of people want to see the shop.
Oh, see the shop. Okay. So let's see the shop. I'll take you around, and then we'll come back and we'll do more questions. Okay. So you come with me, and I'll just unplug this, carry around. So we will start from the very front. So let's do that. Okay. Our facility is a 15,000 square foot facility, and it's in Ontario, California, and it's pretty cool. So we'll start off with the showroom. Oh, the waiting room. Sorry, and sorry, lights are going to be off here, so forgive me, please. And let me close these doors. Okay. So when you first come in to Bisimoto Engineering, this is what you'll first see. You'll see a waiting room with some reading material and a screen. We usually have racing videos and a pretty cool, this is cool, it's a carbon fiber wheel, pretty light, really light stuff. So full carbon fiber. And we have this. Okay. And then you walk in. Okay. And then this is one of the stations for my guys, and another station, and one office, and another office. And this is my, I'm sorry guys, this is my office. It's a bit untidy. And this is my trusty goat that people keep talking about. And here's some of my trophies from racing. This is my office. And then this is one of the showrooms with some customer and my cars as well. It's original slat nose. The door to my Honda, of course, in the showroom. Okay. The Porsche. This is my popular twin turbo one. This is my favorite Cayman one. Okay. Yeah, it's one of the showrooms. It is. Okay, here's another showroom. Okay. Here's another one. But this one is, I shouldn't be showing you guys this because this is a project car showroom. But you'll see it anyway because I love you guys. So, this is another showroom with project cars to come. So another crazy cars. Okay. Thank you. I love you guys too. And this is a car that I'm particularly proud of. It's our first road drive conversion. My friend Sam Roth's Fab helped me with this. And this is the most powerful car in my facility actually. It's a twin turbocharged Hyundai rear-wheel drive. Okay, here's another 912. Ah, you guys remember this? That's my CRZ right there. Okay, and this is a Odyssey, of course. This is my good friend Francis's 240 that we're putting an S2K engine in. So you see this 240 is a 71. Look at that engine. S2K, baby. It's going there. And this is the Civic that caused so many problems. Right there. This is my inside that I'm getting ready for the guys who are asking me what I'm doing. Okay. I can't show you this. This is Another client's car. Another client's car. Mustang. Another car. I like rotaries. I like rotaries a lot. They're very efficient. Another customer's car. And let's go over here. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. This is the back of the shop. That's my tour trailer, small trailer. And we even have in the back, some oceanfront property. It's kind of dried up. And that's pretty much the penny tour. So that I think the world finals happens the same time as SEMA. That kind of makes it difficult when I'm building quite a few cars for SEMA. So that's kind of difficult. Thank you guys. Bless you as well. Okay. I don't know how this is set up. I think that was set up like that. Okay. So that was the shop tour. What I could show. Okay. That's all I can show. There's other stuff I can show, but that's enough. Okay. Is that set up properly?
Yes.
Okay.
Thoughts on the 1.5 T Civic?
Wow. 1.5 T Civic, I had the opportunity to drive it before it hit the market with my relationship with Honda. And I was pleasantly surprised, but I feel that the engine is underpowered from factory and it has potential. But once again, it is part of the Earth Dreams concept from Honda. So I feel it has a lot of potential, but would I feel comfortable pushing it to 600-700 horsepower? No, because of the castings on that. So great platform. I love what Honda's doing turbocharging. The internals are quite robust, so I wouldn't be surprised to see people pushing the stock internals quite a bit. Honda, they did their homework, so you'd be very pleased with the potential, but you can't push it too much. You have to just keep it in the 400 range and you'll be okay.
Thoughts on remote tuning versus in person?
Okay, so I know that I may piss a lot of people off with this, but I'm not a fan of remote tuning. And if you need a base map or just a way to get around, I think it's okay. But really think about it. How can you optimize two key components of tuning remotely? One, with all the newer vehicles, cam timing is absolutely impossible to optimize without putting on a dyno to quantify that. Ignition timing is a little bit close to that as well, because some people who remote tune would tune a car to knock and then back it up a little bit. Cars aren't necessarily efficient where peak knock occurs or close to that. You never know. And there's some things you just can't do remotely. You have to see and feel and hear a car. It's very difficult to do, you know. And I have 8 minutes left, but they say they want another hour. But I can try and come back on. With 8 minutes, is that Instagram doing that, or?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So guys, if I sign off at 8 minutes, I'll try and come back on and we can continue. But back to remote tuning, optimizing cam timing is absolutely impossible without a dynamometer. And I've had cars come here from customers with remote tunes, and they are not optimized at all. Ignition timing is very difficult to do as well. And believe it or not all cars operate efficiently at the same AFR. I can have one turbo car that likes 11.6 AFR. I may have another car that wants 11.2. I mean another one that wants 12.0. Same engine style, same chassis, but just those small nuances that make them different. So I feel that the best thing to do is to take your car to a dyno facility, even if your tuner comes there with you and borrows a dyno to optimize your setup properly.
Are you coming to IFO?
IFO, when is that one? It depends when it is. So put it this way, I like the guys at IFO. Clint is a great guy. If it doesn't have a conflict with any events, I'll be out there. If not even with my car in spirit, but I'll definitely be out there. You'll see me at a lot of events in the upcoming months.
Supercharged D16 Z6, would you recommend tuning on straight 93, 93 with meth injection, or E85?
Okay, question is supercharged D series. What would I prefer to tune with? It depends on the type of supercharger it is. If it's a roots type supercharger or screw type, those benefit significantly from water methanol because when you spray it before the supercharger, those gaps in the veins are filled by the water medium, and it helps improve efficiency, boost, and lubricate the veins. So water meth is definitely the way to go. But I am a huge advocate of corn. I love E85. It's what I have permanently in everything. I have flex fuel permanently, including this, in this Hyundai, in everything here. I love it. It's a cost-effective fuel. It's really great. And that being said, I really find it appealing. So that being said, our time is almost up. I'll try and get back in very soon. If you guys want me back on here to share more, talk to Frank, let the guys from Huffy Talk know, and I'll be more than happy. So for the prizes, I have 3 questions. First question, and let's see who gets this right. What age was I when I was in university? Let's see, the first one who gets it right gets a prize. I'll give you a few moments.
That's a good one.
How old was I when I entered university? Anyone yet?
Not yet. 21?
Nope.
16?
Close?
Another 16.
Close?
18?
Nope.
24.
Not 20, oh no.
19.
People weren't paying attention.
14.
Close, very close.
17 says Honda
No.
Pro Jason. Nathan, 17, 22.
Nope.
21.
Nope.
14.
Not 14.
19, 20.
People are just guessing. You guys almost had it.
15.
Who said 15?
Gringo Tegra.
Gringo, wow, of all people. Gringo Tegra. Well, Gringo Tegra, even though you talk a lot of crap, anyway, you actually won my first prize. So the first prize you have is a case of break-in oil for you, courtesy of my friends at Pure Oil. They're able to give me this wonderful product, which is about $150 value. So all I need for you is to text me or DM me on Bisimoto your address, and we'll send it out to you. So, second question. There's a gentleman who's helping me today, sending questions that you send my way. What is his name? Helping me today.
You ain't talking about me.
Anyone got it right? The gentleman helping me today. I've said his name so many times during this interaction.
Kurt.
No, not Kurt.
Close.
John.
Not John.
Donald Trump.
Very close. Starts with a D, but it's not Donald.
George Duran.
Oh, who got Duran?
Honda Pro Jason.
Honda Pro Jason. You win a prize, Honda Pro Jason. Jason, DM me your address. You're getting a Bisimoto t-shirt. Very nice, soft. Your wife will probably jack you for it because it's very nice material. So you get a t-shirt. So thank you very much, Jason. Last question. This is super easy. And you get a very nice prize, one that's near and dear to my heart. Speaking of my heart, what was my first love in the automotive scene? What marquee? My first love. So this is vehicle brand, first love for me.
EF.
EF? Well, marquee.
CRX.
I just need the name of the company that makes the car.
Civic Honda.
Who said that?
That JDM guy.
That JDM guy? You're correct. Honda was my first love. Honda Civics. Please share with me through Bisimoto. DM me your address. You get something that's very unique. It was my first, I would say, reservoir sock. It's a vintage one from Bisimoto. You get to win that. I'll send you actually a couple of them. And they're very rare. I don't give those out at all. These are things I keep to myself to show my grandchildren. So you get one. So guys, thank you so much for your interaction. You got some great questions. I really appreciate that. If you'd like me back, let Frank know. I'll come back, answer you.